Jack was one step away from giving up forever. But what happened the very next morning changed his life in a way no one could have imagined. Jack Thompson had always been a dreamer. Ever since he was a child growing up in a small town, he believed that hard work could turn even the biggest dreams into reality. While other kids spent their afternoons playing video games, Jack spent hours reading books about successful entrepreneurs, inventors, and leaders. He dreamed of building something meaningful someday. After graduating from college, Jack decided to start his own online business. He had no wealthy family, no investors, and no special connections. What he did have was determination. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise. He studied marketing, learned new skills, and spent countless hours creating content for his website. At first, he was excited. This is going to work, he told himself. But weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. And nothing happened. His website barely received visitors. His videos got almost no views. His products hardly sold. Meanwhile, his friends seemed to be moving forward in life. Some bought new cars. Others got promotions at work. A few even started families. Jack, however, felt stuck. One evening, he attended a reunion gathering with old classmates. The conversations were painful. "What are you doing these days?" one friend asked. "I'm working on my business," Jack replied. "Oh, still doing that?" Another person laughed. The words stung more than they realized. Jack forced a smile, but deep inside, doubt began growing stronger. On the drive home, he kept replaying those conversations in his mind. Maybe they were right. Maybe he was wasting his time. For the next several months, things became even harder. Unexpected bills piled up. His savings account shrank. The pressure from family members increased. "Why don't you just get a regular job?" they asked. "It's more stable." Jack knew they cared about him. But every suggestion felt like another reminder that his dream was failing. One rainy night, after another disappointing month of zero progress, Jack sat alone in his small apartment. His laptop screen showed statistics that barely moved. Traffic, low. Sales, zero. Growth, almost non-existent. He stared at the screen for several minutes. Then he slowly closed the laptop. For the first time in years, tears filled his eyes. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered. The room felt silent, heavy, defeating. Jack walked to the window and watched the rain fall outside. He thought about all the sacrifices he had made, the weekends he had missed, the parties he had skipped, the vacations he never took. Years of effort, years of struggle, and almost nothing to show for it. That night, he made a decision. Tomorrow would be his final day. If nothing changed, he would quit. The dream would end. For the first time in years, Jack went to sleep believing he had failed. The next morning, Jack woke up feeling strangely calm. The pressure was gone. After all, he had already decided to quit. He made coffee and sat at his desk. Before shutting everything down permanently, he decided to spend one final day working. Just one more try. What difference will it make? He thought. Still, he opened his laptop. Instead of following his usual routine, he chose to create something different. For months, he had been trying to copy what successful people were doing online. Maybe that had been his mistake. So he decided to be himself. Jack wrote an honest article about failure. He shared every struggle, every disappointment, every doubt, every moment when he wanted to quit. Unlike his previous polished content, this article was completely real. No filters, no pretending, just the truth. After publishing it, he turned off his computer and went for a walk. He expected nothing. By evening, curiosity led him back to his desk. He opened his website analytics. Then he froze. Something unusual was happening. Visitors were arriving faster than normal. Much faster. Confused, Jack refreshed the page. The numbers continued climbing. Someone had shared his article. Then another person shared it. Then hundreds more. People from around the world connected with his story. Comments began flooding in. "Thank you for being honest. I thought I was the only one struggling. This inspired me not to quit." Jack couldn't believe it. For the first time, his work was reaching people. Real people. The next morning, traffic doubled again. A week later, it doubled once more. Soon, interview requests started arriving. Small blogs wanted to feature his story. Podcasts invited him as a guest. His audience began growing rapidly. For years, Jack had been trying to appear successful. Ironically, success arrived the moment he showed his struggles. One day, while reviewing messages from readers, he found one that changed everything. It came from a business owner named Sarah. She loved Jack's writing style and wanted help creating content for her company. The project paid more money than Jack had earned in months. Soon another client arrived. Then another. Then another. What started as a simple article turned into a thriving business opportunity. Jack worked harder than ever. But this time, the work felt different. There was momentum. There was progress. Most importantly, there was hope. Yet challenges still existed. Growth brought new responsibilities. Longer hours. More pressure. Higher expectations. Several times, Jack felt overwhelmed. But now he understood something important. Every successful person experiences difficult seasons. The difference is that they keep moving forward anyway. And so Jack continued. One step, one day, one opportunity at a time. Without realizing it, he was building the future he had once dreamed about. 3 years later, Jack stood on a stage in front of hundreds of people. Bright lights illuminated the room. The audience applauded as he finished his presentation. It was hard to believe how much life had changed. His business now served clients across multiple countries. His content reached millions of readers every year. Financial stress no longer controlled his life. But what made him happiest wasn't the money. It was the impact. Every week, messages arrived from people who had nearly given up on their dreams. Students, artists, entrepreneurs, parents, athletes, people from every walk of life. Many of them shared the same story. They had been ready to quit. Then they discovered Jack's journey. His honesty gave them hope. After the presentation ended, a young man approached him. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "Of course. When did you know you were going to succeed?" Jack smiled. The question reminded him of his younger self. "The truth," he replied. "I didn't." The young man looked surprised. "I thought successful people always know." Jack shook his head. "Most people think success happens when everything becomes easy. It doesn't. Success usually happens because someone refuses to quit during the difficult part." The young man listened carefully. Jack continued. "The night before everything changed, I was ready to walk away. One day later, opportunities started appearing. Imagine if I had quit 24 hours earlier." The young man nodded. Jack could see understanding in his eyes. After returning home that evening, Jack opened an old notebook. Inside were goals he had written years ago. Some pages contained ambitious dreams. Others contained fears and doubts. One sentence caught his attention. Written in shaky handwriting were the words, "Maybe I'm not good enough." Jack smiled. That sentence had controlled his thinking for years. But now he knew something different. Success wasn't reserved for special people. It wasn't reserved for geniuses. It wasn't reserved for the lucky few. Success belonged to those who kept going when quitting seemed easier. Looking out his office window, Jack remembered the rainy night when he almost gave up. At the time, it felt like the end of the story. In reality, it was only the beginning. Life often works that way. The darkest moment can appear right before a breakthrough. The greatest opportunity can arrive immediately after disappointment. The biggest victory can be hiding behind one final effort. Jack's journey became proof of a simple truth. You never know how close you are to success when you're thinking about quitting. Sometimes the difference between failure and success is one more attempt. One more day, one more step, one more reason to believe. And that is why Jack's story continues to inspire people everywhere. Because success didn't come when everything was perfect. Success came when Jack almost quit, but chose to try one more time.